So the standard for this is I can write and use the standard form equations of circles. So go ahead and add to line I of your table of contents circle equations, and this is going to be going on to page 64. And I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. So just like when we had lines, linear equations, we had the standard form like y equals mx plus b that we used all the time. And it was very nice because all you needed was the slope and the y-intercept. Now the same thing goes for the equation of a circle. So right here is the equation of a circle. And you'll notice the x and the y stay in it just like we had y equals mx plus b, but we have an h and a k and an r, where the center is the hk, and you see him right here, and the r is the radius, and you can see that right here. So this is going to give us the equation of a circle, and it's going to give us all the points that fall all the way around here. This formula is derived from the quadratic, not from the quadratic formula, from the Pythagorean theorem. You'll notice this is kind of like the a squared plus the b squared equals the c squared. So if you look at the triangle that they've drawn here, we have the a squared and the b squared and then the c squared. And I'm going to link a video on the Google Classroom assignment of why this works. This is just like literally a 3-4 minute video on basically how why you use these things. It's basically never mind, I won't explain it. Okay, so let's go ahead and use that formula and just write some equations of circles. All right, so the first example is create an equation for this circle. So obviously you're going to need to have the equation. So I'm going to start with the equation in standard form. We have x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. Okay, so let's take a look at our circle because we only need two things. We need to have the h and we need to have the k. And we need to, let's call it hk together. Hk, and we need to have the r. Okay, those are the two things we need, HK and R. And HK is the center. So I'm going to go ahead and color code. HK is right here. So we just need the coordinates of this center point. So this graph is counted by ones, numbering every other space for us. So this is -1, 1, 2, 3. So HK is -1, 3. And then R is just from the center out to the outside. So remember, you can go anywhere you want, but obviously we're not going to go diagonal because then we can't count boxes. So we can go sideways or up and down. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go right here. So that is an example of a radius. Remember, we could draw a whole bunch of them. So I can easily count little boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 4. So my radius is 4 units long. After I have my h and my k and my r, then I'm just going to plug this in the formula. So I'm going to just put an h by this guy and the k in by that guy. So let's see. I've got x minus, I need the h, so that's a -1. I'm not going to remember there's a minus in the formula, so make sure you don't lose that. Quantity squared. Remember, this comes from the Pythagorean theorem, so that might help you remember to square everybody. Plus y minus k, which is 3, quantity squared equals r squared, so that is a 4 squared. Okay, I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. Plus negative is the same as x plus 1 squared plus that y minus 3, looks all nice and cleaned up, equals 16. this right here is the equation of this circle. So if I were to type this right into Desmos, it would graph this circle. Number 2, create the equation of a circle whose center is -4, 3, and radius is 5. Now, obviously, we have everything we need. So we do have our R right here and our H, K right here. So all we have to do is write our equation of a circle. So we have the quantity of x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So let's plug in. So I've got x minus a -4 squared plus y minus a -3 squared equals r, which is 5 squared. Let's clean that up. Minus negative, nobody wants to look at that. So that's a x plus 4 squared plus y plus 3 squared is equal to 25. There's our equation of circle. Okay, look at number 3. So we have a circle that has this following equation. Now this does not look like our formula, so we can't really pull out the radius and the center. We're going to want to put this in standard form. So remember, when you take your OST, you get to have Desmos. So I'm going to go ahead and type this in Desmos and see what it looks like. Because if I can see what it looks like, then I can just do exactly what I did right here. Now, there's ways you can algebraically manipulate that so it looks like the standard equation, but we don't want to go into all of that when we could just graph it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and graph. So I've got x squared plus y, oopsie, squared plus 4x minus 8y plus 11. Oh my gosh, see? I wasn't even looking at what I was doing. Let's see. Plus. I wonder if that's going to do something weird. If that's down there. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put it in there and see if it does. I might have to clear this out and do it again. Clearly, I don't know how to type. Yeah, it's going to give me the error. Let me get rid of this. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so I have my circle here. I'm going to double check this. You should always double check too, because I can't type, you can't type, we all can't type. Okay, x squared plus y squared plus 4x minus 8y equals 11. Okay, we look good. Okay, so we need to have the radius in the center. So let's take a look at this. The center point is right here. Now remember, you can count all the way across this circle. So that's 1, 2. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot this for you and paste it on there so that way we can see what it looks like. All right. And you can make a little sketch in your thing if you want. Okay, so remember when you're counting this, be careful when you're trying to find the center and the radius. So remember, you can just go halfway across the circle and count bubbles all the way across. So like if this is the diameter, and actually sometimes they'll give you the diameter and they won't give you the radius, but you know just to get half then. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the diameter of this is 6, right? So that means that R, so diameter is 6. So that means the radius has to be half. So the radius is actually equal to 3. So that goes from the center. And if you can't find the center, you can always cut in half and cut in half. And it's always going to be, obviously, where they cross. So the radius is going to be 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, what is the center? So the center point is that pink dot, which is um, back 2 and up 4. So the center is going to be -2, 4. And that's going to give us our h and our k. So now we have our h and our k and our r. So we're going to write our equation in standard form. So if my equation is, I'm going to write the equation x minus h quantity squared. Now, obviously on your OST, you just have to memorize this. Y. I don't think they give you the equation of a circle ever. Squared equals r squared. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug in our numbers. So we got an x minus a -2 squared plus a y minus 4 squared equals r squared, 3 squared. So cleaned up, that is an x plus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 3 times 3 is 9. And that is all you have for your foldable. Now, sometimes they'll give you an equation. They'll ask you for stuff in it. So like this was an equation they gave us, and we had to put it into Desmos in order to find these things. But sometimes they'll give you an equation. Just throw this down in your notebook somewhere or on the edge of your foldable. What if I gave you this equation? An equation of a circle that's already in standard form, like x plus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 36. So if I give you this, you can actually find where the center is, because this is your h and your k. Now remember, they were minuses, so they're going to be opposites. So if I ask you what is your hk, the center of the circle, your h comma k, is going to be, this is your h, but it's going to be the opposite because of the minus in the formula. So that's a -3 comma. Your k is going to be a +1. And then what's your r going to be? That's this, but they've already squared it, because remember, squared. So your r is going to be 6. So if they ask you about this, you can type it into Desmos and then look and see what it looks like we did here. Or you might be able to just pull out the HK in that, but I would always check it, because sometimes when you have those minuses, your brain goes backwards on that. Okay, so this is going to be glued onto page 64, and then you can work on some of your practice. You should also watch this little video. I'll link it to the assignment.